Microphone check 1 2. Microphone check 1 2. Okay, we're gonna wait for a couple of minutes. Wait for all our friends and Khafi's friends and followers to join us in this very, very interesting session. Hello, Yada. Hello, Elvis. Olajide Charles. Mori Toluwa. Christiana. Regina Ayo. Hi, Chuzi. Big T. OKK. Hi, guys. I hope everyone has had a fantastic day so far. I hope you have had a fantastic week, or I hope you are having a fantastic week. Officially, this is Dr. Dipo Awojide or Ogbeni Dipo. And if you like, you can call me Dipo Awojide Spending Omolugo 5G. Alebi, hi. Calculus for life. I'm sorry, I don't know your real name. Ufortune, Kaylee. Hi, Kaylee. How are you? Ekundayo. Hi, Big T. Okay, I'm gonna see if, once Khafi comes on live, I'm just gonna add her straight on and we're gonna start the conversation. Hi, Faith Ako. How are you? Hi, Khafi. Hey. Hi, Miss Uti. Onyi Damola.
Hi.
Hi, Khafi. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you.
Yeah, how have you been?
I'm good. It was so funny seeing all those throwbacks, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Gosh.
All the pictures and videos, isn't it? That was exactly 5 years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it was
can't
like
believe time flew like
June,
that.
July 2015.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a long time.
A very long time. But it's
Yeah.
amazing to see what's been happening in that time. Like you're like a top LinkedIn voice now. Like that is
Oh yeah,
fantastic. So
yeah,
fantastic.
definitely. Yeah. And of course, congratulations on your Big Brother nomination and your winning and everything. I mean,
Aw,
you didn't win the prize money, but you came out a winner at the end of the day. So,
thank you.
yeah. And
Aw, I'm really glad.
if you remember quite well, I
Mm.
actually knew you for I think about 2 or 3 years before I knew that you were a police officer.
Ah, interesting.
Do you remember?
I can't remember. I don't
Yeah,
know
I
because
think we were just having
I
a
don't normally
discussion.
talk about it.
Yeah, I know,
Mm.
right? I know, yeah.
Yeah.
So we were having a discussion one day and we just stumbled on that discussion and I found out somehow. And I was so surprised. I was like, how can Khafi be a police officer? Like, I was so shocked.
Yeah.
Yeah, so thank you for saying yes to us. Thank you for
You're welcome.
saying yes to doing this for me and for BTDT Hub.
Yes, and I love
Um,
what you're doing. I love what you guys are doing because I think it's such an important thing, like when we actually just need, someone to actually look at ourselves, like our CVs. I know that's a big thing that you guys do. I
yeah,
remember, that's a huge thing, and just
yeah,
shaping it, the way you present yourself is such a
yeah,
big major thing. And if anybody else is like me, like I find it really difficult to talk about myself. Like when people, oh, so who are you? I can't be just like, "Oh, I did this, I did that." So sometimes
yeah,
it actually takes somebody else looking at your credentials or writing up saying, hold on, but you've done this. Like sometimes we can't recognize our own greatness within ourselves, and it takes
yeah,
somebody else
yeah,
saying, look, this is what you've achieved. This is what you've
Yeah.
done. And so I love what you guys do, man.
Yeah.
Hi,
Yeah.
everybody that's in here, by the way. Hey, all my
Yeah.
peoples.
I'm sure you know as well that we do like interview coaching,
Mm,
getting people ready for interviews. We organize like master classes, for people who are looking to advance their careers or people who are looking to switch, from one job to the other or from one industry to the other.
yeah.
Yeah, so it's a lot of things that we now do that we didn't used to do, in 2015 and 2016.
Mm,
Yeah.
that's
So,
good.
okay, I'm just gonna jump into it.
Sure.
We're speaking about how young women can, advance their careers, how they can have a voice in male-dominated industries. So
Mm,
this is not, tailored to one specific industry, but a whole, lot of industries. So to start off, I would, like you to basically speak on or touch on, some of the barriers that exist in organizations as relates to women.
whew. Where do we start? Where do we start? I think for me, one of the barriers, or one of the many um, barriers that we find, is actually when women see environments that are male dominated. Just by
Yeah.
seeing that, a lot of the time women stop themselves from even applying, or stop themselves from actually wanting to be in there, because we see things and we actually see a place where we just say, oh, but there's so many men there that
Yeah.
I'm not even going to attempt it. And
Mm.
again, that battle of the mind is something that I think a lot of women struggle with. It's definitely something I struggled with. It's
Mm.
something, just having that self-confidence in yourself that actually I deserve to be in that room as well. Like,
Mm.
there was a statistic that said that when a man sees a job description and
Yeah.
he can only fulfill like maybe 10 or 20% of the job description, he'll be like, let me go and give it a go anyway. Let me just try
Mm.
and apply for the job. But a woman seeing the same job description, she won't feel the confidence to apply for that job
Yeah.
unless she can fulfill about 80% of the job description.
Mm.
So already you're knocking out a huge amount of good women who could actually probably do that job, but they just
Mm.
feel like, no, I need to know that I can fulfill at least 80% of that job title or that job role before I
Mm.
go for it. Whereas a man will see and just like, let me just try it anyway. Let me just see how it will go. So
Yeah.
things like that, are barriers. I mean, obviously, what settling down, having children, childcare is something that is very expensive, and
Yeah.
unfortunately, as much as society is still evolving and changing, it's still something. It's still very like the woman who is taking care of the children. That's still something in a lot of societies that is still the mean. But although we've made, I won't lie. I mean, we have made a lot of improvements,
Yeah.
but that is still something that is still the norm. Like, it's the mother's responsibility to stay with the
Mm.
child, it's the mother's responsibility to look after the children. So again, even that sometimes, like even just having to answer on forms when you're applying for a job, is there any chance you may be pregnant? Like, that in and
Yeah.
of itself is,
They shouldn't be asking such questions, isn't
yes,
it?
yeah, it's not nice already that you just feel like, oh, yeah, it's true. If I'm pregnant, maybe I shouldn't apply for this. Maybe they won't
Mm.
take me. Maybe they won't
Yeah.
promote me if they know that I could be pregnant. Like, questions like that shouldn't be asked on
Yeah.
forms anymore. But things like this still happen. So those barriers, again, it reinforces what a woman is already thinking.
Mm.
What else? I mean, certain job roles that that seemingly require physical strength. Like, for
Yeah.
example, policing, for example. I remember when I said I wanted to be a police officer, people were like, look how small you are. Who are you going to arrest? Well,
Who's
what are
gonna
you going
listen
to do?
to you?
Yeah, exactly. Who's going to listen to you? Because again, it's a role that is typically associated with strength, with force, with
Yeah.
so again, overcoming that, and that again, that was from people around me, let alone what I was thinking in myself. So
Mm.
there's quite a few different ones. I mean, I think we could go on, but those are just a few things.
Mm.
But for me, again, I feel like many of the barriers are, first of all, in our minds, because it
Yeah.
stops us from even going and applying for those job
Mm.
roles, even if the woman is very talented and very
Yeah.
exceptional in what she does.
So it's not just about the external barriers or
Yeah.
perhaps the barriers in the workplace or the industry. There are ingrained barriers as well that women actually deal with, like self-confidence issues, isn't it?
Mhm. I'm even sorry. I'm seeing one of the comments here from Mo. It says, "Do some places do pregnancy test on screenings? Like they actually
Wow.
test if you're pregnant when you're going for the job, which is crazy."
That's, I mean, perhaps in Nigeria. I mean, I don't think they would do that in the UK
Yeah, I mean,
because,
I don't know actually. I don't
yeah,
know.
I mean, I think if anyone does that in the UK, I think they might get into trouble because
Mm,
it's not you're basically discriminating against that person, isn't it?
exactly.
Because
Yeah,
it's basically
Bea Ferry
yeah,
says that as well. Questions about pregnancy should not be asked.
no, definitely,
Mm.
definitely. Okay, so how do you think women can succeed in male-dominated workplaces or industries?
Yeah, I mean, again, this one is is it will almost sound as if it's contradicting what I said earlier, but because of the level of confidence we need to feel that we
Yeah.
have before we approach the certain industries, I feel like study to show yourself approved. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And know your stuff and go out for these roles. Like, and it's even if you're not, for example, 100% certain, or will I get the role, still put yourself out there. You don't know. And I
Yeah.
feel like there's a book I read, I actually put it here for the conversation. It's called Lean In by Sheryl
Okay.
Sandberg. And I don't know if she still is, but she used to be like one of the heads at Facebook. And she has this thing called lean in. Like when you're in a room, when you're having a conversation in the
Yeah.
workplace, don't feel like you need to be in the back corner of the room. And I used to do this. Again, I will put my hand up and admit I used to do this. So if there's for example, a work meeting taking place, we would all go to the room. Like I see where the main area of the room is, and I would sit on the edge. Like I
Or
would
sit
sit
in a
far
corner.
edge. Yeah, sit in the corner as if I'm a spectator. When actually, I have points to raise. I have things to say, but you
Yeah.
just want to be timid. You just want to say, "Oh, I don't want to be too intrusive." And again, one of the barriers that I didn't mention before is the way women are perceived when they assert authority. So, for example, if somebody comes and says, right, I don't think you should be doing that in the workplace. If it's a male, it's more likely to be accepted to say, oh, okay,
Yeah.
the boss just told us we need to stop it, so we just need to stop. But then if a female says it, people in the workplace will be like, oh gosh, she's so bossy. Who does she think she is telling
Yeah.
us what to do? Whereas when it was the man, they wouldn't have an issue with it. So I think as well, perception and educating the workplace on these underlying um, um, stereotypes that we
Yeah.
have would be really helpful as well. So I feel it's everybody's responsibility. It's not just the woman. The woman, yes, we need to also work on our confidence. We need to work on how we deserve to be in a table. We deserve to be in a room. We deserve
Yeah.
to be at a meeting. And we're capable. We are very capable, yeah.
And of course, women deserve, for their voices to be heard as well.
Exactly.
Because if a man attends a meeting or an event and they put their hand up to speak,
Yeah.
people would listen to them. So women, also deserve, to
We like those extra touches.
to be listened to. They deserve a
Exactly.
place at the table, and they deserve to be able to assert themselves without being called a bitch or without being called bossy or
Precisely.
all those derogatory or negative words that a lot of
Yeah,
people associate with women.
I agree
Okay,
100%.
are there, I mean, I don't know if are there any strengths that women have that men don't have? And can women actually play to any specific strengths?
Yeah, 100%. And I would like to see what people think about that. Do you guys think that there are strengths that women have that maybe men don't have? Um, I would say yes. Again, I'll use myself as an example.
Mm.
I remember when I first started working, and I would approach a situation, and I saw how the men did it. Like I was, sometimes the only female on the team.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, I would see how my colleagues would approach situations, and I would
Yeah.
think, okay, I have to approach the same situations in that same way. So, for
Yeah.
example, if there's a disturbance, colleagues might come and be like, right, what's going on here? What's going on here? We need to do this. We need to do that. for example, so I tried to keep that same energy. I tried to, emulate what they were doing, and
Yeah.
it didn't really work. I mean, sometimes it would, sometimes it wouldn't. But then when I would actually just enter, for example, a disturbance, and I would speak quietly, just speak normally, say, look, come here, what's going on? Talk to me.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? And pull somebody
Yeah.
aside. Like, it would work 100 times better than going in with anger or going in with shouting, or do you know what I mean? So, for
Yeah.
example, maybe not all men would be able to do that, but as a woman, I'm embracing my femininity. I'm embracing the stuff that also makes me a woman. Yes, I can
Yeah.
be assertive. Yes, I can be, I can tell you what to do. I can actually assert my authority. But at the same time, if I can just have a conversation with you, why not? And I'm seeing some of the comments
Attention
here.
to detail. Do
Attention
women
to detail.
do women pay? I mean, Morenike says, do women pay more attention to detail as compared with men?
It depends. I've seen some men who are very meticulous with detail, like very, very meticulous. But I feel like women, we like those extra touches. We like again, this is generalizations. Not every single woman. Like, please don't quote me on that. But generally, I feel like we can notice things that other people haven't noticed. Like, for example, in work, I'm always the first person to notice when somebody has a haircut. For example, do you know what I mean? All the other guys are like, oh, did he have a haircut? I'm like, yeah, he looks good. He's just got a haircut. But not everybody notices that. To some extent, yes. And I see Yomi Brave also says, yes, compassion. Again, I would like to hear your thoughts on that, actually. Do you think women are more compassionate than men?
Yeah. Well, I would say yes. I mean, I know a lot of guys who are very compassionate. But for guys, and this is me being very real and very down to earth.
Yeah.
Sometimes when men show kindness, or when men show emotion, some other men will call them pussies. Some other men will call them weak, or a weakling, or say, for example, if a man cries, for example, some people still actually associate that with women, and with being a female, with being weak. But yeah, overall, I would say, and this might be controversial, I think I do agree that women are more compassionate, as compared with men.
Yeah, that's interesting that you say that. I feel like you say it may be controversial, but I think it's true to an extent. The only way I would tweak it is I would say women have been permitted to show their compassion more than men have.
Okay.
Women have been allowed to say, oh, if you see a colleague crying, and oh, come, what's wrong? Talk to me.
Yeah.
But if it's a man, there's a bit of a, oh, okay. So I feel like even if, like you said, even when men want to show that compassion, there is a bit of a, oh, I don't want that. I remember one time, sorry to laugh about this, but I remember one time when someone at work wanted to actually show compassion to in a certain situation we were dealing with, but was afraid that the person would think they're trying to come onto them or try to get them as a girlfriend. And I felt really, really sad for that person. I just thought, gosh, he just wants to help, but he's really afraid that that female will think, oh, she's trying to he's trying to get in there,
Flex, or
down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I would tweak it that I feel like we all have the capacity to be compassionate. We all have the capacity to show empathy, to show care. But in society, it's been more permitted for women to show that compassion, whilst men kind of have to keep it at bay. And I think we all have a part to play in changing that narrative. And not calling men pussies if they cry. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That shouldn't be the case.
Yeah, completely agree with you. What are your thoughts about, young women getting a mentor or getting a sponsor within their workplace or within an industry? Do you think, that in your own experience, has that helped you? Or do you think, that would be beneficial for young ladies watching?
Yeah, I think obviously having a mentor or having somebody who can advise you is invaluable. Like, it is absolutely invaluable. Like, you can't put money on that. Like, but unfortunately, some women have been put in the position where somebody says, "Oh, look, I'll look after you,"
Yep.
but then wink, wink, they want something else as well, you know. And when women get put in that unfortunate situation, it's really tough. Like, I've been in situations like that when people, you know, it looks like great. Oh my gosh, they want to help me. Oh, fantastic! This person's gonna put me through, and you just
Yep.
feel so happy. You're like, yes, because who wouldn't want somebody who's been there before, who can show them the way to help? Like, obviously,
Yep.
you know, I think it's invaluable if you have the capacity to have somebody like that in your life. Take up the opportunity. Like, there's no point making the same mistake that somebody already has made. And I'm
Yep.
not gonna lie, sometimes, you know, in my past I've been a bit hard-headed, like, oh no, you know, I wanna learn for myself, I wanna make my own mistakes. But actually, what's the point if somebody can put you through? But
Yep.
the problems arise when somebody who wants to put, or you think wants to put you through, also wants something else as way of exchange, you
And
know.
this is not just, you know, men looking for something from women. It could also be women, you know, looking for a relationship, or, you know, because the world now is a very funny place where you have, you know, all sort of, you know, relationships going on. There are a lot of people in, you know, different types of, you know, male to male, female to female. So people just have to be very careful, isn't it?
Yeah.
And if you see that someone is, you know, trying to move to you and you don't want that sort of relationship, I think it's just, you know, only fair to sort of draw a line to, you know, just basically try to cut that person off, or let them know that you don't want to get into that sort of situation with them.
Yeah, and it's hard when you have to make that decision, because
Yeah.
I have been there before. It is hard when you have to make that decision, when it's like,
Mm.
oh, should I just keep shrugging that person off? Should I just keep, you know, distancing myself every time they try something? And
Yeah.
it's like, oh, but, and at that time it feels like that person is the only person who has the keys to your destiny
Mm.
in their hand. Like, it just feels
Mm.
like, but this is the only person that can help me. This is
That's
the only
unfair.
person.
That's very
Very,
unfair, isn't it?
very unfair.
And you have
Very
to
unfair.
decide if, you know, you want to escalate that either to your boss or to HR, or, you know, just speak to someone about it. It's usually a very, very difficult place to be.
Yeah, it really is. And I mean, but I think sometimes when when you can really trust yourself, and I really believe in justice, I really believe in
Mm.
fairness, I really believe in hard work being rewarded.
Yep.
Sometimes you have to make that hard decision and say, you know what, I have to cut off ties with that person, but I
Mm.
trust that my work ethic, I trust that my ability in this workplace will speak for itself. But
Mm.
at the same time, that's another thing that women, oh, Godoni's here. Hi.
Oh, that's good. That's sweet.
um, sometimes, oh gosh, I've lost my train of thought now. Fine. But yeah, sometimes that's also an issue that women have to deal with. Oh gosh, I've completely lost what I was saying.
Someone has actually said, I perfectly understand, Khafi. Someone has actually said, you know, what can women do? So in male-dominated industries or in a male-dominated workplace, you know, for women who are looking for mentors or sponsors, what can they do to ensure that they don't, you know, speak to the wrong person or become friends with the wrong, I mean, wrong person in quotes now, like a man, for example, who is either trying to flirt or trying to sleep with them or just, you know, mess about.
It's difficult. I mean, sometimes it's difficult to tell. Somebody can seem very genuine. Someone can seem very willing. I mean, you know, people can be chameleons when they want something.
Hmm.
But my thing, you know, you can speak to people around you,
Yep.
speak to colleagues in the workplace. Oh, how is that person? Are they nice? Are they? And I'm not just. I won't even just say he, because sometimes women also do this to men as well.
Oh,
That
yeah,
women,
definitely.
you know. So, but in the women's case, you can speak to your colleagues, people who've been there longer than you. Oh, how is this person? What
Hmm.
are they like? Are they a good mentor? Have they helped you? What are
Hmm.
they, you know? Because again, the worry is that we get to a point where we don't trust anybody. So somebody
Oh,
who is
yeah.
genuinely helping you, or genuinely you're like, I'm sure this person
Hmm. You're being
trying to
suspicious
get
of
something.
everybody.
Yeah, you feel wrongly suspicious of somebody for no reason. So that is
Hmm.
also a risk that can happen as well.
Hmm. Okay. So, in your opinion, in the
Sorry,
workplace.
Regina Ayo says, getting a genuine mentor is difficult. Due to past experiences, some of us ladies feel unsafe around the opposite sex. Yeah,
Yeah, so
I totally
maybe
understand.
sometimes get a female mentor.
Mm,
Focus more on looking for a female mentor, a female sponsor, if that reduces the risk of um, inappropriate relationships in the workplace.
yeah.
But yeah, moving on from that, on social media, in the workplace, within the industry, how do you think young women can ensure that their voice is heard?
Within social media, you mean?
Yeah, so social media in the workplace, within the industry, how can they ensure that, their voice is not suppressed and that their voice is heard?
Oh, great. So now you've brought back the thought that I had before that I lost because of a special someone. um, so for me, I think that it's really important to actually be vocal in your gifts and your abilities,
Mm,
because we have this thing as females, we do our work excellently, or we try to do our best and we do what we can, and we just hope people are watching and that they'll see and that they'll come and reward us for the
mm.
good work we are doing.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that does not always happen. That is not always the case. Like,
Mm,
everybody else is busy with their work. Sometimes they're not going to notice you,
mm,
that you're doing your work, that you're getting to work at 8 a.m. and everybody else is getting there at 9 a.m. Sometimes they won't notice that you're staying till 7 p.m. and everybody else left at 5 p.m.
mm.
So sometimes you just need to actually be vocal and pat yourself on the back and celebrate yourself. Like, so put your achievements out there. I remember when I did a talk and an exhibition at the European Union. I didn't want to share it. I felt like, oh,
Mm,
people will think I'm bragging. People will think, like, I actually curated a whole exhibition at the European Union with a member of European Parliament. And I
mm.
remember at the time I didn't want to share it on social media because I didn't want people to think, oh, Khafi thinks she's so big. Khafi
Yeah,
thinks she's this. Khafi thinks she's that. But if that was a guy now, you'll see him
there's gonna be
put it
bragging
on social
everywhere.
media. Look at me, shoulders
Yeah.
high. Like, it wouldn't be a problem. But in my mind, I was thinking, oh, everyone's just gonna think Khafi's showing off, Khafi's
Mm,
doing this. So sometimes, in order to be noticed and to be visible, yes, do your work diligently, do your
mm.
work well, but also celebrate yourself and actually be
Yeah.
vocal about what you're doing. I think
Mm,
that's how you can do it. Like, for example, you mentioned social media. That is a fantastic platform now for all of us to showcase what we are doing. If you've
mm,
got an award at work, share that.
mm.
Celebrate that. If you passed an exam, celebrate that.
Yeah.
Share that. Sometimes people don't know. And again, I'm saying all of this stuff from experience because
Mm,
I have struggled with this. I still struggle with talking about myself.
mm.
And funnily enough, one of my fears coming onto here was when you coming, starting the show and saying, "Oh, Khafi, yeah, introduce yourself." I'll just be like, "Oh gosh, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say about myself." Like,
Mm,
I still find it hard to talk about myself, but that's something I'm trying to deal with and trying to
mm,
curb and trying to say, look, I should be confident in what I have done. I have done a lot of things, and I'm grateful to God for the opportunities that I've had,
mm,
and I shouldn't hide that,
mm. And it's quite good that you've been very honest and
Thank you, Banam Pundu.
very yeah, just basically very honest, because a lot of people actually like to pretend that they've actually got everything sorted, like we are so
Mm,
good, like we are not dealing with any issues.
yeah,
Well, it's quite nice and very refreshing that you can be as down to earth as possible and be as as real as possible. So I think it's quite good. I was just going to add that sometimes when you do so in a workplace, for example, your boss could be very busy or your manager
yeah,
could be very busy, that they don't even notice the excellent effort that you've put
that you're
in.
putting in.
So
Exactly.
once in a while, you might need to find a way to highlight, those wins, or those
Mm,
excellent things that you've actually done, or those achievements, just so that everyone knows, in case they have missed it, just so they
exactly.
actually know that this person has not just been, clocking in and clocking out and just
Yes.
doing, just basics.
Yeah, that's so true. And I see Emma Adetola says, I don't celebrate myself on social media. Is anything wrong with that? I'm not saying that anything is necessarily wrong with it, but I'm saying why not? Maybe ask yourself, why don't you celebrate? Just question and probe. What is the reason why you don't feel comfortable? Well, I'm not saying that you don't feel comfortable, but what is the reason that you don't celebrate yourself on social media? Why not? Like, is it that you just don't want to, or is there a deeper reason that maybe you feel somehow about doing that? So yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah.
For this. I celebrate you. Thank you, Debbie girl.
Yeah, okay. So Khafi, if you, I mean, can you think about, you know, things that women can do to block their own success?
Yep. Self-sabotage is my middle name. No, like, again, I thank God. I really thank God, actually, for things that I've been through, because I know, like, when I'm talking about this stuff, I'm talking.
Oh, I think we lost you for a minute. Okay, guys, Khafi is going to get back in a few seconds. I guess it's our internet connection. Guys, could you please, okay, I'm going to have it back on. Go live with Khafi. Yeah, just waiting for Khafi once again.
Oh, thank you. Oh, I don't know what happened there.
Okay, yeah, I think it was perhaps your internet connection.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah, so the question was, you know, what can women do, or, you know, what do women do to actually block their own success within the workplace or within the industry?
The first thing I would say is simply not putting themselves out there, not trying in the first place. Not trying in the first place. So seeing a promotion and just not going for it. Convincing ourselves, oh, we're just not ready. Oh, we just need a bit more. We just need a bit more time to learn this. We need a bit more experience in this. Like, for me, that is the biggest thing that we do to ourselves in the workplace, is talk ourselves out of opportunities for advancement. We actually talk up before we even attempt it. We just talk ourselves, and we just say we're not ready. When you're way more ready than maybe 50% of the other people going for that same role, but you talk yourself out of it and you just say, I'm not ready. And also, not putting yourself forward for development opportunities.
Yeah.
So, for example, if there are courses that you can go for, and this is something that we haven't even spoken about, actually, but sometimes I find, and I'm saying this, you know, my experience, sometimes I find that female bosses can be less supportive than male bosses towards females. So I feel like another thing that we do that stops ourselves is not supporting ourselves in the workplace. So, for example, you know, some people love to say, yeah, I'm the only woman in my workplace, or I'm the only female, or when it comes to race, I'm the only black person there.
And they feel very proud about that.
Yes, but actually you should be bringing more people in. If you're the only female, if you're the only black person, my battery, bring some more people in. You know what I mean? Support each other. That's one thing that we don't do enough in the workplace. Like, just actually bringing other people in to see what you're doing. Like, don't feel threatened to say, oh, that person might steal my job. You were there. Feel confident in yourself. You're already there. Do you know what I mean? Nothing will be removed from you by helping somebody else get to that position. And if you're in a higher position than another female, remember what it was like when you were in that position yourself. Don't be harder on other females. I find that happens a lot. I've experienced that a lot myself, that female bosses are very tough on me.
Harsher on
much harsher
women.
on me. Unnecessarily. And again, it's almost like a catch-22, because sometimes you feel like, are they being mean to me because I'm another female and they feel threatened by that? Or is it because they don't feel secure in their role and they're trying to show, I'm a leader, I'm this. So they feel like they have to be harsher in order to show that they're a good leader.
Someone has actually said, you know, an element of inferiority complex, isn't it?
Yeah, I would agree. Like, there's so many factors when it comes to this.
Okay. So, what are some of the most important skills that women need to succeed in a male-dominated industry or in a male-dominated work environment?
Hmm. I would say confidence. Confidence. Like men are very good at talking that talk. They will tell you, like you said, they will brag about this, they will brag about that, and a woman will just be, we'll just be sat there like, wow, wow. But actually, when you have the confidence to talk about yourself, talk about what you've done, and the capacity and the benefits you bring to that
Mm,
workplace, like having that confidence, I think is very, very important. Like that's
mm.
definitely something. um what else? um Honestly, I think confidence covers a lot of it, because
Yeah, because
even,
if you are confident, you would. I mean, it changes a lot of things, doesn't it?
yes, 100%, 100%, all these other things, like, oh, people start
Creativity,
calling.
how
mm,
it actually
but
changes all those things.
even when you actually have ideas, if you don't have the confidence, you won't put them forward.
Yeah.
And then the worst thing that used to annoy me so much would be when I'm sat in meetings and I'm thinking something, and I'm like, oh, well, they should just do this. And I feel too scared to say it. And then
And
somebody
someone
else comes,
says it.
oh, that's the
Mm,
worst. You're like, oh, but that was my idea. I knew I should have said it. I don't know if
mm,
anybody else has, felt something similar. But that's like the worst feeling. It's like, oh, I wish I just spoke up and I wish I just said what I wanted to
mm,
say. So that happens a lot. So I feel like confidence is a major key. And you know what? Because I'm sure there'll be people. Yeah, I was literally just about to talk about that. Oluwakem one says, "How do you build your confidence, girl or boy? If you're a guy,
mm.
sometimes you have to fake it till you make it. Like
Definitely.
it's that real. Sometimes the confidence is not there, but you just have to pretend.
Mm,
And a lot of the time, nobody else knows if you're pretending.
mm. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
So you're just
and
winging it, isn't it? And you could actually just, appear very, very real and very confident, and no
mhm.
one actually knows that, perhaps
Inside
you
you're
have
shaking.
some issues you're dealing
Yeah.
with. Mm,
And I've just seen a comment here. Oluwaduni says set boundaries. I think that's also very key, because sometimes women in a male environment become the tea lady.
mm.
I'll say it straight. Sometimes women in a male environment, they'll be like, oh yeah, do you mind going to the shop for me to buy me this? Oh, we need food for lunch. Do you mind going
I'm not
out?
I'm not your mom or your girlfriend. I'm not gonna do that for
Exactly,
you.
exactly. Sometimes you
Mm,
just have to have those boundaries and say no, and not always take on people's work. Like, again, I used to be somebody who I find it very difficult to say no to people. So people would say, "Oh, Kathy,
mm,
do you mind doing this for me?" I'll say, "Oh, okay, no problem. Do you mind doing this? Oh, okay, no problem. Do you mind this?
mm.
Okay, okay." And then I'm just piling stuff on
Yeah,
somebody, on
and you don't
somebody, on
get to do
somebody.
your own job when you
Exactly,
get
exactly,
overwhelmed. Mm, okay.
precisely.
So, do you think, women competing against themselves in male-dominated environments, do you think that is good, or do you think, it's something that women need to stop?
Yeah, gosh, oh gosh, yeah, the struggles I've been in. um I think we do need to stop it. Like, when we see each other, like, I genuinely believe, when, there's a quote that says there's enough room in the
Hmm.
stuff for all of us. I really believe that. And the
Mm,
reason it looks crowded where we are is because where we are is the crowded place. Like, the bottom is crowded, the top
mm,
isn't. I really feel like the
definitely.
top is not crowded. All of us are able to get to the top together. Like, we can actually help each other out. And
Mm,
actually, another thing that people underestimate is that when you're actually helping somebody else who isn't in the same position as you're actually building your own leadership skills. Because when you're
definitely.
mentoring somebody, that's something you can put on your CV. That's something you can
Definitely.
put on your CV. Like, look, there was this person who was trying to get into tech engineering, for example,
Yeah.
and I was able to mentor them, and I was able to get them into my company. Hello, that's
Mm,
huge.
yeah.
That is huge in and of itself. I really feel like, as women, we need to support each other. We need to stop this thing of, oh, oh
Dog
yeah, I'm
eat
the only
dog.
woman here. I'm the only woman here.
Yeah.
You're trying to take my place. Nope, nope.
Mm,
There's enough room for all of us to shine. There
mm.
is enough room for all of us to shine.
Okay. So I'm not sure if we've actually touched on this. For ladies who are, dealing with self-confidence issues, or ladies who are, who doubts themselves, what do they need to do?
It's a tough one. It is a tough one. I think it ties back into the confidence of faking it till you make it.
Mm.
Read about these things. Read about these things, because I know what it is to be in a room and you're just shaking, like just because of
Yeah.
the title that somebody has. And when you realize, hold on, they're another human being. Like, I love that song that Dangote, like, oh, what was the Adekunle Gold song that Dangote or
Mm.
Lori Meji, like, he doesn't have
Yeah,
two
yeah, yeah.
heads. He does not have two heads. We are the same human beings. The same way God
Mm.
brought you into this earth, He brought me into this earth. So why should I see somebody and be shaking? And especially, because I work in a right environment, like the police is
Yeah.
very much about right. So you get taught to fear anybody who's higher up in authority than you. It's like,
Mm.
oh my gosh, that's the commander, or oh, that's this, that's that. But then,
Mm.
yes, you can have respect for people in places of authority, but you don't need to
Yeah.
fear them. You
Yeah,
don't need to fear
definitely.
them to the point that you are afraid of speaking in their presence. What?
Mm.
No. So when we just realize, actually, no, I have every right to be in this room exactly the same amount as the other person.
Yeah.
I really feel like that can help with this way we keep
Self-esteem.
our self-esteem, because we
Mm.
listen. There's something I used to say a lot that, and everybody knows, like, I'm sure lots of people watching. My thing is, all we do is win, 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 no matter what. That is my thing. Like, no matter what, all we do is win, and all
Mm.
of us, if we're alive, we're already winners. Like,
Definitely.
even just in the race, to, like, everybody. Do you know how many? Okay, this is gonna get anatomical or whatever.
Yeah.
But even in the race, for when I'm laughing at myself already, but for the sperm to germinate the egg that became you, do you know how many sperm failed?
Mm.
You are the sperm that won. You are the one
Yeah.
that won. You've already won. You've already been born into the world against all odds. So you've already won. So you already have the right to be in the room. You already have the right to be on this
Mm.
earth as much
Yeah.
as anybody else.
Yeah.
So it's something we really need to be. And I was talking to myself here, because even now, sometimes I still meet some people. I'm like, oh my gosh, that is that person, you know.
Mm.
And we really
Yeah.
we really get this thing in our head. Like, they really teach us this thing. But I wish we would release ourselves from it. That you can
Mm.
respect people without fearing them.
Yeah.
You can
And
respect people without fearing them.
definitely. And if I remember correctly, when you spoke at our event in 2015,
Yeah.
the
Oh God.
title of your talk
Yeah.
was "Yes, You Can."
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yes, you
You
can.
can, exactly.
So, for those who are doubting themselves, you can. Don't stop doubting yourself.
Yeah.
Be very self-confident in your skills, your abilities, and your competencies and capabilities. And yeah, definitely you can get it done.
Mm-hmm.
I think Gidoni is asking a question. Do you want to pick on his own question?
Is
Or I'm just going to let you
where?
pick on one or two
Sorry, read it out.
questions.
I can't see it.
Oh, no, I think you just made a comment.
Okay.
Yeah, I think someone actually asked earlier that, how can you be firm without being rude? Like, how can you assert yourself without being rude?
Okay. That's a good question. You can assert yourself without being rude by being very clear. Be very clear of what your expectations are.
Yeah.
Be very clear of what you expect from the other person, and setting deadlines,
Boundaries,
for
isn't it?
example, boundaries and deadlines. So sometimes as women we make requests like, oh, if you don't mind, are you able to just, oh please, if you can, that thing, are you, please, can you like, that's how
Mm.
we make requests. But actually, if you make a request, look, please,
I
can you,
need this done,
yes, by
days.
5 p.m. today,
Mm.
and it's not rude. You're making a request. and the person has the opportunity to accept or decline that request. But if you're very clear in your request, you don't need to be rude. And I think sometimes situations, when you haven't been clear in the first place, that is when situations escalate that make you have to be rude. You're like, did you not understand? Are you stupid? Why didn't you understand what I told you to do? When you weren't even clear with the instructions in the first place. And for example, if someone is asking you to do work, for those people who aren't in positions of authority, if someone's asking you, oh, do you mind just getting this extra thing? You can just state very clearly, I have X amount of work to do and I'm still working on this. If I'm able to finish my own work, I will try and do that after. Do you know what I mean? Just letting them know what the situation is rather than saying yes and then disappointing the person anyway.
Okay. So last question. How can young ladies stop being people pleaser? And this is from one of the questions I picked up, from one of the people who are watching.
Okay.
Yeah. How can how can one stop being a people pleaser? Yeah.
Are you still there?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Okay, great. It's frozen for a little bit. As an ex-people pleaser myself, you just have to, I think people pleasing is linked to a desire to be liked, right?
Yeah.
And it's linked to a want for people to like you. That's why you want to please them. That's why you don't want anybody to have anything bad to say about you. You want people to be you just want people to kind of be on your side. So you kind of want to please them. So once you actually realize that, say, look, I am worthy on my own. Like, I am actually a good person myself. I'm worthy on my own. I don't need their acceptance in order to accept myself. Then that is one of the ways. I know that's going a bit deeper than maybe the question is asking, but I feel like that is one of the questions to think about, because you actually just say, actually, I don't need to please these people.
Yeah.
So I don't need to worry about being a people pleaser. If they
just be yourself, isn't it?
Yes. If my assurance isn't in what they think of me, then I won't feel the need to people please. Like, and I always used to tell myself, oh, but I just want people to be happy. I just want people to be okay. Like, you can't serve out of an empty place. Like, so if you're pleasing everybody else and you're not able to serve yourself, how is that going to work? How's that? It's the same thing like when we're getting on an airplane. Unfortunately, I don't know when next we'll ever be able to get on an airplane right now. But when you're getting on an airplane and they say, if an emergency happens, put on your own seatbelt before putting on anybody else's seatbelt.
Definitely.
You know, so you need to know yourself that actually I'm in a good place with myself before you're trying to please other people.
Definitely.
I know this is easier said than done, guys. I'm not trying to say, magic wand, snap your fingers and it'll be done. But just, I really want I want you to think about these things. Oluwaduni says, you need to learn to like yourself. You are less likely to people please when you actually like yourself and are able to put yourself first. Precisely.
Definitely. Yeah. Completely agree with that.
And Amaklet says, being a people pleaser is not a disease. You just have to know how to differentiate it from actually pleasing and actually killing yourself to please them.
Yeah, I think I do agree with that as well.
Yeah.
You've actually got people from Namibia.
Oh, that's lovely. Hi, Tangi Punye. Hello.
Yeah. Okay. I think that brings it to a close. Thank you so very much.
I was having so much fun.
Yeah, I've had fun talking to you as well.
Thank you, Bob.
I mean, there's been so many lovely comments, from all your fans across the world.
Thank you.
All the people that just knew you a few months ago, during BBA, they're all here.
Aww.
And of course, all the with the old school friends as well.
Whoop,
they're all here. Thank you so very much, Khafi. I'm sure we would would get you once again to either come on live or attend one of our events.
Nice.
Either in London or in Manchester, once all this coronavirus
crazy
whatever
stuff.
is
Yeah.
over. Yeah. And thank you, Gidoni, for watching, for supporting Khafi. Thank you so much. Bayo, Oluwaduni, Tayo, Morenike, and all our BTDT crew, Oida Mola, Bosun, Shola, and all the other people who are watching.
Thank
Thank
you,
you
guys.
so very much. Yeah, we should, once all of this is over, once again, we could do coffee or do a cup of coffee
Khafi.
in London, isn't it?
Khafi.
Cup of coffee in London. Yeah. Thank
Definitely.
you. Thank you
Thank
so much,
you.
Coffee, and
You're
have a good
welcome.
evening.
Thank you. You'll be saving this live, right?
Yes, I will save it. Yeah,
Okay,
definitely.
perfect, perfect. And
Yeah,
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 fantastic.
yeah. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
so
Thank you,
much. Yeah,
everybody, for watching.
yeah. Have a good evening, Coffee.
All right, then. Thank you.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye, everyone.
Okay, guys. Thank you so very much, everyone. This has been a very fantastic session once again. BTDT Hub will continue bringing young people, inspiring professionals to speak to our community, speak to our audience and all our followers. And we hope that you join us for our next session. Hopefully, we're going to have a session next week. Please make sure you follow us. Follow BTDT Hub on Twitter. Follow us on Instagram. Please make sure you follow us on Instagram and tell your friends, your colleagues, everyone to follow us. Thank you so much once again, everybody, and have a pleasant evening.